Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we got a new Dusknoir to talk about, and this new Dusknoir is very, very interesting indeed. This could end up being a really, really exciting card, which could make some really, really exciting decks. And I like this very, very much indeed. So what we've got then, and I should mention our translation comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet, which, I'll be honest with you, by now you probably should be expecting. We like Antoine. Antoine is awesome. So we've got 160 HP, which for a stage 2 HP-wise is, I don't know, fine, probably. It's not that bad. It's alright. We'll survive. We've got ourselves a retreat cost of 3, which is higher than we'd like, resistance to fighting, which is nice, and weakness to darkness isn't great, because you're sharing a weakness with stuff like Mew, and Mew's the best deck in the game right now, so people are going to be going after Mew. I mean, sure, we got stuff like Umbreon being played, which is not going to be fun for you, but generally speaking, you don't want to be sharing a weakness with a Pokemon which is the most played and most teched against Pokemon in the game. It's generally not working out too well for you, I think is fair to say. But you are a Psychic type, so you're hitting weakness against stuff like Rapid Strike Urshifu and Single Strike Urshifu VMAX. So it ain't all bad, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't all bad. Now, attack-wise, we're not going to spend much time on this. Psychic double colourless 120. Even though you're getting the Pokemon V that are weak, those weak V maxes you're not getting. And I'm putting free energy on a stage 2 Pokemon. If I'm putting free energy on a stage 2 Pokemon and I'm not getting a one-hit KO on a weak V max, no. Move on with our lives. This is not an attacker, but that's okay, because it's got the energy special transfer. As often as you like during your turn, you may move a special energy from one of your Pokemon to another of your Pokemon. And the thing is, we know this is a good ability. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes here. We know for an absolute fact, an undeniable, inarguable fact, that this is a really, really good ability, because we've seen it before. We saw it on Aromatisse moving around Fairy Energy. That was an amazing ability that saw at the time. It's gone now, unfortunately. But it saw a huge amount of play and was incredibly successful. We saw it on Hydreigon with Darkness Energy. That was a top deck that saw a bunch of play and was hugely successful. We saw it on Meganium way back in Heart Gold Soul Silver, which wasn't quite as good a deck, but it saw a bit of play here and there. And if you really want to go back, this is an ability that we've had since we've had the game. Because back in the base set, we had Venusaur. And this is what Venusaur did. And I'm really annoyed right now, because that would have been a really nice trivia question, but unfortunately, it's not such a good trivia question nowadays, because since the Classic Collection got printed in Celebrations, everybody now remembers that Venusaur and knows about the ability, and it's just a little bit sad, alright? Now everybody's aware of the Venusaur, Boo-Hiss, etc. My point is, this is a really good ability that we've had since the inception of the game, and now we've got it for special energy. And I love having it for special energy. Because the fact of the matter is, if you're playing special energy, it means you can be doing whatever you like. It can allow you to move your single strike energy all over to one Pokemon to hit harder. Remember that single strike energy allows you to do an extra 20 damage and is often accelerated with Houndoom. But if you accelerate it with Houndoom, you've got to take 2 damage counters. So one thing you can do here is essentially accelerate from Houndoom to a different single strike Pokemon, but then move the energy where you want. You've got more energy on the Pokemon with which you're attacking, and they haven't had to take the damage. That's pretty good. But it's just little things, like one situation we all end up in. We've all been there a million times. Rapid Strike Energy. You draw it too early, and you've got a Professor's Research in hand. And you've got to play the Professor's Research to discard your hand, draw 7, because if you don't play Professor's Research, you're not going to have enough cards to really finish out the game. So you have to do it. But you have to get rid of that Rapid Strike Energy. At which point your 2 choices essentially are, either you put your Rapid Strike Energy on the wrong Pokemon, that's bad, or you discard it knowing you can't really recover it, incidentally, also very bad. Here, you attach it to the quote-unquote wrong Pokemon, but now you've got Dusknoir that can let you move it to the right Pokemon, and jobs are good'un. It is a shame it's a Stage 2, though. The fact that it's a Stage 2 is a little bit of a problem. I mean, we've got this ability right now on Bronzong for Metal Pokemon, bearing in mind you've also got that really rather lovely Metal Saucer card that lets you accelerate from the discard. And it's seeing a bit of play here and there. It's absolutely viable, but it's not really what we're looking for. It's a little bit awkward. So is a Stage 2 going to work? And the fact of the matter is, yes, it can. Because you've got things like Single Strike Energy, Rapid Strike Energy that are really going to work. One of the things I really like, annoyingly, I actually really like this in a fusion deck. Now, right, first off the bat, yes, it's not going to work in a fusion deck very well, because Genesect lets you draw cards until you've got cards in hand equal to Fusion Strike Pokemon in play, and Dusknoir is not a Fusion Strike Pokemon, so if you play a Dusknoir, it means that you are always drawing one fewer card with Genesect, and that's clearly a bad thing. We all know this, alright? But we've got things like Elisa Sparkle, which lets you attach to fusion energy from your deck to different fusion Pokemon. Well, this would allow you to then move it so they're both on the same. We've seen that Meloetta does damage depending on how many Fusion Strike energy you've got in play, but what you can essentially do here is make sure the Fusion Strike energy is not on the Pokemon that are going to get KO'd, so you can keep the Fusion Strike energy on the field, so Meloetta always does more damage. Like I've said, the fact that it's not a fusion Pokemon is a huge problem here, but it does help to show some of the advantages an ability like this can give you. Obviously, one of the great things here is Cheryl. And Cheryl's a given, but it's still something that's worth discussing. I mean, Cheryl lets you heal all damage from all of your evolved Pokemon at the cost of discarding all the energy attached to said Pokemon. Well, the issue we have is a special energy generally can't be recovered, is super awkward to get back, etc. You really don't want to discard it. That's a bad thing. So what you do here is you move the energy to a Pokemon that's either a basic or a evolved Pokemon that doesn't have damage on. Then you play Cheryl, heal up nicely, move the energy back, and you've actually been able to completely heal all of your Pokemon without having lost any of the energy, which is clearly a very good thing. And honestly here, it's often going to come down to what kind of special energy we've got. That's going to be a big question. But I think there is enough here to really like it. I mean, we've got Lucky Energy. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged, you draw a card. So you can move that to make sure it's always on the Pokemon in the active, so you can draw extra cards. That sounds like a pretty gosh darn good thing. Not to mention all of those other types of energy which are really just for one particular type. Things like powerful colorless energy, for instance, which does an extra 20 damage on colorless Pokemon, so being able to move that around to the right Pokemon at the right time, potentially getting multiple on the same Pokemon, etc., that's clearly going to be a really big advantage. I love this in a special energy heavy deck. If you're not in a special energy heavy deck, clearly this doesn't really work, but if you are, this is nice. I do have to point out a slight irony here, of course, because when I see a new card like Dusknoir, and I'm like, oh man, that's really interesting, I like that, my next thought is, well, it's a Stage 2, are there any other Dusknoir that I can use to combo with it to get extra advantages? And there is. There is a Dusknoir from Vivid Voltage. The problem is, that Dusknoir's got an ability that makes all special energy just count as one colorless energy doing no extra effects. Well, the only reason you'd ever play the Dusknoir to move energy around is because you're playing special energy and relying on it, and this Dusknoir from Vivid Voltage affects both players, so why would you ever want to play a card that helps you because of your special energy, and then a card which ruins your special energy? No, ladies and gentlemen. So as much as there are two Dusknoir out there, and I kind of like that, there is... I mean, I wouldn't say there's no synergy between them. I would say there is anti-synergy or negative synergy. It's a bit of a pain, frankly. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's Dusknoir. I'm going to go ahead and give it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. I worry it's a Stage 2. But the fact that it can work for special energy and therefore help almost any deck, I really do think gives it a huge advantage. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.